coach has mentioned these 5 guys as difference makers, I believe them. So again, I think, starting off again, new quarterback, new system, and things like that. I didn't think we were going to come out the gate scoring 40 a game. But I did. Well, I will say this also though: nobody has stopped us just 3 and out. We moved the ball, but to your point is then when it's time to make the next play, can we make the next play? Because we'll go 20-20. We've gone 20-20 on everybody. Nobody has just stopped us. That bodes well.
The last thing I want to mention is going into, when they started playing their money games, FAMU had a problem stopping the run. What have you seen, Coach Cole or Coach Campbell, that makes you confident that FAMU will stop the running game, or could Alabama State make hay in the running game the same way that Norfolk State and South Carolina State did?
Coach, I'll start. I'll start because I'll let you get it from a coach's perspective. Well, here's the thing. That's the concern. That's the Achilles heel of this team. The talent that we brought in that we felt that could replace all conference Anthony Dunn, all conference General Hunt, all conference Cheney. Those guys have not lived up to the press clippers as of right now. These are Power 5 guys, size, speed, weight. But the question is the football acumen. So what I'm hoping and what we're hoping to see is, are these guys ready to stand up? Because this is what it's going to come down to. Because if the talent plays, then FAMU has no problem. But if they don't, it's going to be a long game. But with that being said, we've got the better quarterback. And the better, like I say, while they can run the ball, because I'll tell you this, they could do we could play same game against Bethune, like they could play same game against Bethune, but FAMU would win that game because we could score. We could score. They still let Bethune-Cookman score 21 points, and they ran for 300 yards. So, again, we still can score. So, again, I'm looking for the defense to play better. Like I said, this is a game. Hey, we're going to find out. This game right here, you're going to find out what Florida A&M football is all about. Just to be honest with you. So, the first 4 games, first 2, last 2, money game. But this starts the SWAC season. And everybody knows this game in October 19th is going to determine who's going to be the SWAC champion. Point blank, period. So we'll know. We'll know what FAMU is about. So we got all those Jack State people. They want us to lose because they've been saying we have been average. They've been talking about what I'm going to keep saying, though. We have played a better schedule than everybody else also, though. So some of that might be maybe we play better teams compared to everybody else. So we'll see. Because I'm going to say this again. South Carolina State will beat every team in the SWAC other than Jack State and FAMU. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, I just say that I don't think it's going to be just a big victory. I think Alabama State is good enough on defense to slow them down. Special teams will play a major role in this game. I'm just not going to hand all the flowers to Florida A&M because Alabama State has been great and good defensively for the last couple of years, and I think they're even better. And they got people in the secondary that can slow those big plays down. You know what I mean? So they ain't no slouch. But of course, the problem is can they keep Daniel Richardson off the football field? And when I'm saying keep him off the field, not necessarily he's going to get some opportunities, but to make him drive the whole field. Florida A&M have struggled in the red zone. You know what I'm saying? So if you got to make them go long fields and don't turn the ball over, it's going to be a close game. And like I said, 28-7, 21-10, that's the way I see it. I don't see Florida A&M being the team of the past. Like you said, Coach Cameron, I think they still learning each other and getting their footing. But playing against Alabama State, which again, I can't say enough about the defense. Coach Eddie Robb, he's always kept things close to his vest. It really was a blessing for him because he don't like to see the ball up in the air anyway a lot. So I look forward to this game. It's going to be a good one. Ain't you guys going?
No, I'm not going, but Coach Campbell is.
You going to be in the house?
Hey, man, we're leaving out of here at Atlanta 8 a.m. in the morning.
I need you to
And Rocky, I'll be calling you to make sure you still see if my passes are ready to go.
I need you to go by there and holler at my boy. And he got a little cigar bar right across the street from the stadium.
Yeah, we went last time.
Yeah. It's called Torch. You know.
Yeah, remember we went last time.
His name is Reggie Miller. Look for Reggie Miller. Then I got many boys. I tell you to run by my house down there too. So if I would have thought about it, hell, I would have went. But yeah, it's gonna be a good game, coach. It's gonna be nice and crowded, coach. It's gonna be thick.
No, we ready.
When you get down there?
Saturday morning. We'll leave us. All of us will leave us Saturday morning.
Oh, okay. You just coming for the game. Then y'all leave or y'all gonna stay?
Wait a minute.
Y'all leave it or y'all gonna stay after the game?
Can you hear us, Coach?
Oh no. Can you guys hear?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Are you leaving?
Okay, sorry about that. Looks like my phone headset died.
You staying Saturday night?
Yeah, say that again, Coach.
You staying Saturday night?
Wait a minute. Hold on 1 second, guys.
You know them guys from Atlanta ain't staying in Montgomery all night.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah,
them guys got a 2-hour ride. They're going to go down there and try to get them a win and get on out of there.
Yeah.
The game kind of kicks off. Well, the game kicks off at 4:00. So, hold on. Let me see when the game kicks off.
At 4?
No, it's 2 in the afternoon, Coach.
I was going to say, yeah, it's 2:00.
The game kicks off at 2, so they got time to, have a good time in Mobile. Get the win.
Yeah, we're staying tonight. Yeah, we're staying. We got a hotel, so we're staying tonight, Coach. Yeah, because we're gonna party on their homecoming because we're winning. Like I said, and like they say, yeah, we're gonna go to the Nest. We're gonna have the AD give me that bottle of liquor.
Okay.
And enjoy it. But no, like I said again, it's gonna be a tough game. This is gonna be a tough. You gotta respect Coach Robinson because even with the turnover at quarterback, the fact that we're at Coach Cole, which you are a coach, the fact that you can see opportunities there lets you know how he's kept this team tight. And again, I think Florida A&M, I think we got a good team. We don't have a great team. I don't think there's any great team in HBCU land this year. I think the top 5 teams could beat each other on a given day.
Well, let me say this. I think Florida A&M is a great team. I think South Carolina State is a great team. Of course, we know North Carolina Central, but it's just so many. I don't want, since I'm a coach, I be careful about what I say. It's some mediocre teams. It's just so many mediocre teams. You know what I mean? Guys are still playing 2 and 3 quarterbacks, and just. So I think they where they want to be, Coach. Really.
Well, look, Coach, I'm gonna be, and let's keep it a buck for all my Jackson people. Y'all know what it is. FAMU knows what this is because the game needs. We can't lose this game because we got to have 2 weeks of trash talking for October 19, 2024. So the football guys are not gonna let FAMU mess that up. You see what I'm saying? They're not going to let, and to say the same thing with Jack State. That game against Grambling was not a conference game, so it didn't mess up anything because we got to have a winner-take-all game in my hometown on 10/29/24. Like I said, I'm bringing those Rattlers in from Atlanta. I'm so excited. They're ready to come.
10-19, ain't it?
10/19/24. So we're not going to mess this up, man. And one thing I will say about FAMU is since our reincarnation of getting back to what our standard is, we know how to win football games like this, to be honest with you.
Right.
We have players that understand these games. So the bottom line is this game will not be too big for our players because we've been in these games and we won these games. So like I say, again, we're not going to mess this up because like I say, this thing needs to be Jack State and FAMU, and we don't need no outside interference.
Well, okay, so y'all have a pretty significant stretch coming ahead. Y'all got Jackson State, Southern,
At home.
Coming up at home. Could it be possible that the guys could look ahead to Jackson State?
No, because no. I'm gonna tell you the reason why. Like I said, remember Alabama State was preseason number 1. Remember that. They said that this team is better than Jackson State and FAMU. Now, I think these guys understand the stakes of this game. I think from the very get-go, they understood that. I think we always understood these 2 games were going to determine our destiny to get to the Celebration Bowl. So, no, I think those 2 – I think they go – and to answer your question, I think those 2 games go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other.
And from a scheduling standpoint, even though you guys are on the road on both of them, it's worked out where you guys have essentially gotten a bye week before both games. So even if you come out of one of them banged up, you know, well, if you had come out of the A&M game banged up, you had enough time to heal up and be ready for Alabama State. And then now you have that same time, which you guys expected, to heal up, lick your wounds, and be prepared for Jackson State after a 2-week rest. So the schedule sets up for you guys as well as you can to have 2 road games against to what I would consider 2 of the top teams in the SWAC. You know, I don't think it can set up any better if you're going to play on the road.
And I'll tell you this, and guess what? Jackson State has a bye week too. They know what it is. They know what it is. See, listen, everybody knows what it is. They didn't put that bye week there. That bye week was there for a reason. That bye week is sitting in front of FAMU, and ours is sitting in front of Jackson State. So again, man, you got to handle business. If you want to be a championship team, these are the type of games. And Coach Cole, you know this. You can't win a championship at home. You win a championship by winning on the road. Point blank, period. So you got to win the game on the road. And like I said, I just think Daniel Richardson is just so much of a better quarterback. I think that is just a great equalizer.
Yeah, well, let me pivot for a minute, if I may. What we gonna do with the West? Or have y'all talked about that already? What we gonna do?
Not in that context.
What we gonna do over there, Coach? So,
Coach, listen.
Southern, hold on. Prairie View beats Grambling. Grambling beats Jackson State. Prairie View loses to what's going on, Coach?
Well, here's what I'll say about this, Coach. What's really great about this is that the next couple of weeks, you're going to see what the West. Every game is going to matter double. And what I mean by that is because Prairie View has to win out. So there's no margin of error for Prairie View.
Well, no, because Texas Southern ain't giving up on my boys, but they lost so bad, it look like they might not win another game. So after they lose, they're gonna lose 3 or 4. You see what I'm saying?
But Prairie View has already lost 2 already, though, Coach. That's the problem.
So Texas Southern gotta lose 3.
3. That's what I'm saying. So that buffer game, usually that's what I'm saying. The head-to-head even hurts even more because they're already down 2 games.
Hey,
already.
They're gonna lose 3. Texas Southern has to play FAMU as well. So
there you go.
That's another one built in.
So that's another one. But the bottom line, but it doesn't matter because if Prairie View only loses 3 and Texas Southern loses 3, guess what? Texas Southern has to head-to-head.
I get you. My point is, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I've looked at the schedules on the West. If Grambling doesn't win the West, it's a daggone shame. Now, I know that's and this is what I'm saying. You're set up in a game where, of course, you beat Jackson in a non-conference game, but you don't have to play Jackson State or FAMU in a conference game. Your cross matches are Alabama A&M and Bethune-Cookman. That's your cross matches. That's your cross matches. If you don't win the West with those cross matches, you may never win, Coach.
Wow. I after that loss, Grambling lost, and the way they lost, Coach, it wasn't Did Prairie play exceptional game? Did y'all think that? Man,
no, they played a horrible game. They should have lost that game, honestly, until Dooley realized that he went back to 1950 and ran the wing T instead of spreading those guys out and run the rub routes like everybody else does to win the game. And Coach Mickey Joseph talked about that also, about pass protection and things like that on the coach's call. So again, I was really just baffled by the wing T setup and the power run. I mean, Miles Crawler's not that guy. You got to throw the ball in that situation both those times.
Well, what I was surprised at is he hadn't ran the ball the entire second half, especially when they had a 10-point lead. Like he was still trying to hit the big plays. Huh?
He ran the ball twice in the second half.
Overtime. Yeah, in the overtimes. Yes, ran it.
Yeah.
Didn't throw it.
Right. Well, hey, so right now, who's number one? Southern.
Southern has it right now.
Then
they play FAMU in Jackson though, so you know it. Well, the Jackson game. Okay, let me say this: the Jackson game wasn't a conference game, so let's just throw that out.
But let me ask you.
But they do play FAMU.
Let me ask you this: who's dominating over there?
Nobody's dominating.
No, nobody.
Let's rank them. Can we rank them? You would say Grambling, right? Rocky?
Yeah, I would have to say Grambling is one.
I'd say Grambling because they playing one quarterback.
And then you would say Southern and Prairie View.
You gotta go give Texas Southern no credit, coach, for that win because they got beaten so bad by Jackson State.
Ooh.
Who do you think is better between Texas Southern and Grant? Who do you think is better between Texas Southern and Southern right now?
Ooh.
Exactly. and Southern plays Texas Southern at Southern in 2 weeks. Next week. Huh?
Since Alcorn got blown out by McNeese and Southern had lost 21-7, Alcorn is still there.
They're still there.
So let me ask you guys this: when will we find out how good Southern is, or how bad they are?
Well, I'm looking at Southern's schedule right now. Southern plays Nichols this week. They play Texas Southern next week. They play Alcorn the following week. They play FAMU. So you're going to find out in those 3 weeks between the 12th and the 26th what their conference record is going to be. Because they literally could go 0-3 or go 2-1.
Right.
They go 0-3, that's a wrap. So they still – go ahead.
Well, let me ask you, how good do y'all think Texas Southern is? Rocky, you already said.
I don't think they're very good.
So you think the only games they got left that they can win is Pine Bluff and Mississippi Valley?
Texas Southern, they play Southern on the 12th. They play Grambling the 26th. They play FAMU the 11th. So again, 3-game stretch, same time. They could go 0-3 in that, and their season would be over. And Alcorn is behind that after FAMU.
Yeah. Texas Southern got the big boys coming through there the next couple of games.
So, Coach, I'm telling you, if Coach Joseph don't make it to the SWAC championship, and I'm gonna be honest with you, there's a scenario I see where Coach Joseph hosts the SWAC championship, but he slips up against Prairie View.
Well, let me say this, Coach. Let me say this. We giving him that big victory over Jackson State, right? The Jackson State had 5 turnovers.
Well, it doesn't matter. Even if it doesn't matter, it's a non-conference game, so it doesn't even matter.
Oh, what I'm saying is we're basing Grambling being the best West team off that win.
No. I'm basing it off of everybody being mediocre and them having the best schedule.
Quarterback. And the best quarterback.
Yeah, and the best quarterback.
What you talking about?
Miles Crowley is better than any has played better than any quarterback
in the West.
Any team in the West has played. Give me who's better than Miles Crowley in the West?
Not Noah Biden, not Wilson.
Every team has played 3 quarterbacks.
Not Johnson.
So we're giving him the nod because he's taking all the snaps.
Yes.
Numbers, coach. His numbers are
What, coach? You know what you're really doing? You're proving your own point. They're all mediocre.
I'm a quarterback man, and all I hear about was Crowley. Coach, he might not even throw for 1,500 yards this year. The way they're going.
What do you think Wilson's going to throw for? And Wilson from Texas Southern. What do you think Noah Biden is going to throw for? What do you think?
Hey, Wilson.
I mean the other kid. I'm sorry,
Davis.
Davis.
He on borrowed time. It's just a matter of fact.
So that's what I'm saying. You got quarterbacks in the West that can't even throw for over 100 yards.
Wow.
I'm gonna put it like this. Now y'all might think I'm being mean when I say this, but you could put Alcorn, Prairie View, Southern, and Texas Southern's quarterback all in the bag and pull them out, and they all not going to make a difference on how the teams are going to play. There's not one game changer in that bag. You can transpose those quarterbacks. I'll say Miles Crowley is the best quarterback, right? Not only because he's taken the most reps, because he's had some, again, he had some good passes. He had some good throws. I don't think he was given a very good game plan in the second half. That's just my.
Let me give a shout out to my partner, them boys. Is Crowley a game? Absolutely not. No, I don't think in the whole SWAC you've got Dan Richardson, who's a game changer, and potentially Jacoby and Morgan to be a game changer. Every other quarterback, and Miles Crowley was preseason.
Crowley had the opportunity to show whether he was a game changer or not. That Prairie View game, quarterbacks, they know they'll put the team on their back and either make the throws or scramble out there. They'll make the team win. And I don't see that. I don't see that. I'm waiting on him to have the breakout game. He was picked player of the year and first team quarterback. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right. And I think Mickey Joseph is waiting on that too. But this also goes to the coach. Then I guess the question always goes to the being in sync with the offensive coordinator, which is Coach Dooley, and putting Miles Crowley in position to make the throws he could make.
I keep saying, Coach, that these offenses they're running and making the spread their offense. This spread is supposed to be wide open, right? Supposed to be throwing for all these yards and moving the ball up and down the field and zip jamming and all this bull crap. Either you don't know how to run it, or you're allowing these kids to make these mistakes, or you coaching it that way. And I don't know, do I supposed to say that, Coach Campbell? I'm happy.
Well, I think you're giving an honest assessment. I think we know coaches watch this show. I think, and I think they respect the honest assessment, because here's the thing: Coach Joseph got on the coaches call and literally said, "We got to do better. We got to do max protect. We got to get Miles Crowley throws that he's coming with." He literally said it on the coaches call. So that's not an unfair criticism when you're saying, "Hey, if a guy is being put out there as the player of the year, first team all SWAC quarterback, you expect him to make throws and to put his team on his back." It's just, see, we have to be able to live with expectations. See, I think sometimes what happens in life is that we run away from expectations. If Grambling wants to be the G and be a championship, I heard all that whole week after BJ said, order is restored. Well, the way order is restored for Grambling is to win championships. and to have dynamic quarterbacks, which they have had legacy going all the way back to James Shaq Harris. Okay? So my thing is, if you're going to be that quarterback, you should not be afraid and understand that you are the quarterback at Grambling. That is, in HBCU football, that is a premier position. It comes with a lot of responsibility.
Can we pull up his best game? Has he thrown over 200 yards this game?
No, he has. He thrown for over 300. He threw for over 200 last game.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think he had a decent game against Jackson State.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that, Coach. Look at that.
Let me
I know Jackson State had over 400, and I think Grambling had like 279, somewhere in there.
Let me see. Let me pull it up.
Yeah, we got. Where's our stat guy? He off tonight.
We got it right here, Coach. Because we talked about this because we went over the stats. What was that last week?
Yeah. Man, we need some sponsorship, man. The harder stat, so we can roll this thing out. You know, I'm television now. You know, they be feeding you all that information, Coach. Like,
they would say they give you everything you want, huh, Coach?
Oh, Coach.
All right, here, I got the box score right here, and this is what we got right here. I have it right here, but I had it pulled up ready to go. Now, against Prairie View, Miles Crawley went 29 for 48, 286 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, which those interceptions was game changing. So that was what he did. So again, almost threw for 300 yards. Game for that one, which I think I had pulled up the Jackson State game, which was week 4. And this was the one you were referencing. Again, this is what Jackson State really just blew him out the water offensively. Miles Crawley went 16 for 28, 167 yards, 1 touchdown.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You know,
but they did play with a lot of short field, though, Coach, in that game because of turnovers.
That's true. That's true.
So they did play a lot of a short field. So the point of it is, again, he's not throwing for 80 yards that we have quarterbacks in this conference doing. Okay? I literally just ran off at least 3 quarterbacks that only threw for 110 yards or less. Alcorn's quarterback, Texas Southern's quarterback, Valley's quarterback. You know what I mean? Guys are just, so again, he's the best of what they have. And to your point, can he win these games? Grambling, to Rocky's point, should be in every game till the end of the year because of Miles Crawley.
Okay. That's fair.
Should be in every game till the end of the year because of Miles Crawley.
That's fair.
Now again, against Tuskegee, and to Coach's point, and let's talk about it for a moment, just to say, to Coach's point, the only game that he's really performed as a passer is against Tuskegee. He had 166 against, losing, the Raging Cajuns. He had 125 against Texas A&M Commerce, and he had 167 against Jackson State. So he did have, more yardage against Prairie View, but he had those turnovers. So
we'll see. It's just too much quarterback going on, and this quarterback get in, and see, they moving quarterbacks around like damn tailback, running back.
Coach, Grambling has a stretch, and I just want you to think about this, Coach. In October, they have a stretch where they play Alcorn, Arkansas Pine Bluff, Texas Southern, and Bethune-Cookman. If they come out of that 3-1, in my opinion, they still end up leading the SWAC.
Right.
That would make them 3-2. If they come out of that stretch 3-1 because of everybody else's schedule, right?
Right.
I think if they end up with that stretch, 3-1, they end up still leading the SWAC with 2 games left, or at least tied for the lead in the SWAC. Because in that same stretch, do you think Alcorn is going to go through that 4-game stretch against Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Grambling, Southern, Alabama State. Do you think they're going to go, 3-1 in that stretch?
I doubt that. I doubt that. The way they're going, all of them are going to take a loss.
Southern in that four game stretch. We could take a look at Southern in that same 4-game stretch. In that 4-game stretch, they're going to have Texas Southern, Alcorn, Florida A&M, and Alabama A&M. Now, again, that's an interesting situation. Oh, and Bethune-Cookman. The schedule sets up pretty nice for Southern, too, now. I'm not going to even lie to you guys. And if they could get by Alcorn, they're going to lose to Florida A&M. But Alabama A&M, Bethune-Cookman, and Arkansas Pine Bluff are all winnable games.
Hey, that Alcorn game, once again, looms so large for Southern's whole season.
Yeah.
Once again. And that game is meant, and that's what's great about that. That Alcorn Southern game, again, goes back to playing, like I say, for SWAC championships recently. That Southern Alcorn game can determine what they're going to be about.
Again, I think we're going to end up having a repeat of the 22 season when on the last weekend, how many teams had a chance to go to SWAC championship? It was Alabama A&M, Texas Southern. No, it was Texas Southern, Prairie View, and someone else.
Alcorn,
and they all lost.
Wow.
And they all lost. And then Southern ended up going by default because they beat Grambling by a stroke of luck in the Bayou Classic. I think that's, like I say, I just think I just think it's going to be one of those kind of years, man.
I was all right. This is what I wanted to see, Coach. The SWAC, the statistics, leaders. All right. You got Jackson State averaging 33 points a game, Grambling 31, Pine Bluff 29. And have they won a game? Southern 23, A&M 23. Last place team is Mississippi Valley, average 12. Texas Southern average 16 points a game. Florida A&M is averaging 16. How many games is that from Florida A&M?
4.
Yeah, they only have 4 games. Yeah.
Hey, we got a caller, guys. 6660. You're live on HBCU Coaches Corner with Johnnie Cole. What's your name and where you calling from?
Benjamin, Texas.
Oh, you got to speak up, Benjamin. Go ahead, sir.
So, Benjamin, first of all, I want to come with some humble pie. Excuse me. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, so first I want to come with some humble pie, Mr. Campbell and Coach. I didn't disappear, but I want to come with some humble pie. All right. So anyway, putting that to the side, Mr. Campbell, since I see you got your giggles on. Coach, I have a question for you. It looks like a lot of the coaches are not having good experiences with their offensive coordinator. So I'm only talking about PV. Even though we lost, I'm going to still represent Prairie View. What is it from a coaching standpoint do you think Coach Bubba should do to kind of corral the offense to fit the personnel on the team? That's one question I have for
you. They one of the things that you should do as an offensive coordinator is scout yourself. So I would have a coach on my staff would actually scout us. And he would do it every 3 games, so we wouldn't get stiff. And right now, from the start of the season to now, they should be having meetings on what we doing. if we're not reaching the numbers that we should be reaching. You always should know who's your playmaker. Who's the wide receiver from Prairie View? What's his name?
Savage.
Savage.
Shamar Savage.
I've watched games where he don't even get thrown at. If that kid is not touching that ball, or we ain't got out of 75 plays, if we ain't throwing at him or having him involved at least 15 or 20 plays, we ain't winning and we ain't scoring. I always say the business is an egotistical business, and sometimes, us as coaches, we get our ego and our pride together.
Correct.
And when you find a staff or coaches that's either blaming it on refereeing or the players and never said it's itself, then you got a losing program. Because that's our job as coaches and as coordinators is to score points and to find ways that we can help the program win football games. So if you're not scouting yourself and you're not understanding, certain plays are good against certain fronts. What do I mean by fronts? There's going to be a guy that's either going to be on the 2-eye, and defenses always line up in gap, 2-eye, and sometimes they do line up head up, but they either going to slant to the strength or they going to slant away. So going into the game, you got to know that. All right, I'm on this hash. All right, they got a shade of 3, 5, and 5. So I know what they're gonna do. So we got to run certain plays. You can run to the 3 technique. Certain plays you can run to the shade. Give you an example. If I got a shade player, I want to run outside. Okay, that means it's gonna be a shade and a 5. So it's gonna be hard for that shade to run the play down. But if I run the outside zone to the 3 technique, which is sitting outside the guard, I'm either going to have a tackle come down, and the game is about angles. Okay?
Right.
So if you don't know that and you don't understand that and you're just calling plays, you're not going to get result. And then you hear some coaches say, "Oh well, a good back, won't let one tackle." Yeah, that's true, but that's when he gets going. But if he can't ever get through the line of scrimmage, you know what I mean? You can't use that analogy. So
the reason I asked that, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. If I'm asking you a question, but go ahead.
Yeah, and the reason I was asking that question, but I don't want to give Coach Campbell too much bulletin board material because we still got some tough games coming ahead. But in talking to your friend Michael Prince, we discussed on the show that it doesn't look like Coach Bubba or the offensive coordinator are putting the right players on the field at the right time. Like you said, there's no way in the world that Savage can be the player that he is and he's sitting on the bench unless he's sick or constipated or something. He should be on the field at all times.
I thought he was on the field.
There's no way that you can have this big back and you're not putting him on the field. I'm thinking like, in order for us to win, are we not putting our best players on the field at the right time?
Well, you definitely got to do that, man, because of Division I AA football, it ain't like you got 24 2-deep guys that can get it done. You know what I mean?
Correct. So in discussing that, you don't want to be blasting the coaches and stuff on the show. And no. I definitely don't want Coach Campbell trying to take no bulletin board material coming up. But I do think in order for us to perform well, we need to have our best players on the field defensively and offensively. And so I know y'all were talking about quarterbacks and so forth. I didn't go to the game, but from what I saw, if you put pressure on Gramblin's quarterback, he's not producing like the way y'all talk about compared to when you look at, and I'm not saying the young man from Prairie View is better or not, but I will say Coach Campbell.
You mean like the young men?
He looks a little more composed when given the opportunity, but you have to put even him in the right predicament. And so, Coach Cole, I will say this. I did throw out there that some emails might need to be sent. Now, I don't know if you are open, but I did suggest that some emails need to be sent if we keep on losing to certain teams. So I'll just leave it at that and sit back and listen.
Well, As a and being a coordinator too it's about rhythm. You know what I mean? You know how you've been be somewhere, Campbell and Rocky, and you just don't. You're like, man, I ain't smooth, because I've been here, done that. And sometimes in games, coordinators get that. And a lot of times it's because they run up against a better team sometimes. And so you got to be able to make those adjustments. You got to be able to use the players that you have. Every time I watch players, I love the name Savage. I think he got a hell of a name for a wide receiver. I just don't even catch no passes. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, damn, are they gonna get the ball to this kid or what?
Well, Coach, Blue put up something very interesting. His PVR ready to fire Anthony Wheaton. I don't think they're ready to fire him, but I think when you look at their offensive production up to this point, there's some struggles, and who's responsible, Coach?
Man, look,
who's responsible for putting up points, Coach?
Offense, Coach. Offense, without a doubt. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to turn this into a, me bashing and I'm not. But we hear the talk about football and stuff like that. You got to get it done, Coach. You know what I mean? You got to go in there. You got to score when you need to score. You got to be able to control the ball when you need to control the ball. And that's just the way I see it, Coach. That's just the way I see it.
Well, look, Coach, let me piggyback on something because Blue makes the point, and he says that they're talking about talking about fire Anthony Wheaton. But I'm going to say this, and this is not a bash. This is a quote. Bubba McDowell said he went in halftime and told his coaches, "We need to play X amount of players.
We need to play the right guys.
Right guys." He said that. We didn't say that. He said that on the coach's call. So the question then becomes, is the question that's being asked, what is the OC and the position people seeing that then Coach McDowell said, wait a minute, I'm monitoring this game. We're about to let this game get out of hand. And I'm just saying, not to say Savage didn't play because he did play. But again, I've heard from PV people that there's some issues going on with that. And he's looking to say, hey, if this guy, even if he doesn't know all the plays, he needs to be out there. If this guy doesn't know all the plays, he needs to be out there. So again, Coach McDowell said that. We didn't say that. So when you say that, that again, and I give him credit. I give him credit that as a head, like you said, he grew up, Coach. You said it. He had the honest assessment that this is not working.
Mm-hmm.
And he made the adjustment.
So, Coach, is it a situation where just say I'm a coach and I got a player that doesn't know all the plays? Can I just put him in for the plays that he knows?
It depends on what type of athlete he is. If he can get it done, then yeah. But at this point, he's got to know he's got to know what he's got to know, to get it done. And what happens is we're so close, we're right in the middle. Meaning, that's why to me you got to go with a starter and you got to, you got to get in there with him and ride with him. I just don't think it's so much. It's so much parity. I got two great guys. Man, damn that. One of them is better than the other, and one of them is close to what you want in a quarterback. You see what I'm saying? And you just got to go with it. I just don't think being a quarterback myself and knowing one of them don't know the plays better than the other. One of them might have a great arm. Coach, when I played, I'm a life experience when I played as a quarterback. I sat behind two guys. One was 6'4" and one was 6'2". One had an arm to throw. He could throw it a country mile. The other one was a 4'5" guy. He can run. But they didn't know the playbook. But they played them because they were bigger than me. I wasn't ready to play my freshman year or my sophomore year. But my junior year, my third year, I was ready to play. but I was smaller than they were. I wasn't the pitcher, but I knew all the plays. I could make some of the throws, most of the throws, and I didn't play, coach. But I went on Camel my next year and broke every school record. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't because of all of a sudden I knew back then, you know what I mean? I got coached. So I never told myself that I'm only gonna play a guy because he looks like the part. No, he's gotta be the part. He's gotta do everything from A to Z. You gotta know the plays, you gotta know the fronts, you gotta know the coverages. I just, I don't care about all that stuff around you. I play, can you get it done? I don't care how you look, short, fat, tall, if you can get it done, you can play. And you should be playing. And if you're not, I don't care. You know what I tell my team, coach? I tell my team, I said, I'm not here to like nobody in this room. And nobody in this room here to like me. And how we gonna like each other is that I can count on you and you can count on me. I don't care as long as you come in that room and you be into meetings and all that. I don't get into all that personality stuff. The only thing counts is winning. And there's some kids that didn't like me, and I knew that. And guess what? I didn't like their ass. But they made sure that they were at team meetings and stuff like that and done what we asked to do, man, and we were fine. But you know what brought us together? Championship. That's what brought us together. Winning.
Hey, Coach, and on that note, I don't have anything else. Do you got anything else, Mr. Campbell?
No, I think, I do have something. I want to say, to everybody that is watching the show, many of you watch all the different shows. I just appreciate you all supporting us. I mean, many of the names, I've seen Zoe and them boys and Lionel and Seth Bass and Paris and Blue. Like I say, we call him Blue. I'm going to call him Blue. All these different people, Crook over there causing havoc over on your channel, Rocky. Israel Kerr was in. I just want to tell all you all, we really appreciate you watching this show because this is what, as they say, a labor of love. We the old heads, you know what I'm saying? The young folks got their stuff, you know what I'm saying? All the rest of the shows are the millennials. They ain't got their insurance hasn't dropped. They didn't see football past 2000, so they don't know anything past 2000. That's what tickles me. I watch Josh and those guys, and so they don't know 20 years of football. You know what I mean? And Scotty and Perry and stuff like that. I heard Perry talk about, damn you was down, and I guess Perry doesn't realize that we've won championships back. But I understand that. So I appreciate you all taking the time watching us old heads, to talk about football and understand we do have a SWAC championship coach that is able to give you some insight that no other show can give. So I just want to tell all my young nieces and nephews, I really want to thank you all for just being here.
All right, Coach. It's time for you to take us out of here, Coach.
Man, it's good. But I want to say something about Johnny Thornton, or did y'all say something? North Carolina Central took your word, Coach Campbell. When they beat North Carolina State 66-6, something like that.
Uh-huh.
And so what they did was, and they
66-24, I think.
Yeah, they took your athletic director's deal. So they got together and did a 66 fundraiser. And they started calling around. And before the game was over the next day, they had raised $53,000. But then they came back. Some of the alumni had those programs at their job where they match.
Yeah.
So they pulled some of that money out, gave it to some of those alumni. They put it in their jobs deal, and the job came back and matched that money. At the end of that week, Coach, they had made $83,000. So Johnny Thornton, North Carolina A&T man.
No, wait a minute. See, you about to get shot too. North Carolina Central. See? Yeah. Now you gonna get your rims stolen off your car too, messing around with them boys up in North Carolina and not get these names right.
Hey, and I want to say too that Coach Trey Oliver helped lead the way, man, with his own money. They raised $83,000, man, within a week. and it was called 66 donate $66, and they raised that 83. So hats off to North Carolina Central.
There you go.
And they didn't even have to fire a coach. They didn't even have to let a coach go to raise that money. You know what I mean?
And let me say something to all the HBCU alumni out there. Find out many of your jobs have that employee match.
Right.
Make sure that you investigate. Hey, if you work for them white folks, get something out of them. So please investigate if you work for a company that does that match, because that's a lot of money that can be. Like I said, I learned about this a long time ago. Many of my classmates have done this for years at FAMU. Many of my classmates have went to their companies because they saw other schools that didn't look like us have those matches. Said we want our school at it. So if your company's not doing it and they have that program, make sure your school is a part of that program.
That's right. So I want my hats off to North Carolina Central fundraiser, Trey Oliver, Johnny Thornton, and those guys, man. They raised that right after one game, Coach. You know, one game that was real big.
You know, last week we had the Brantley, the newly hired. She hadn't even started yet, so I can't even say that. She started her first day is what, October 7th?
7th, next Monday.
Next Monday. She was on the show, and we encourage people from FAMU or whatever, whoever, to go over and to the Rattler Foundation and donate $19, $1,900, $19.99, $19.19, whatever.
Yeah.
Have you got any feedback from her as to was there any people that I know I went over there?
Oh, well, absolutely. She got a lot of feedback. And matter of fact, shout out to Kenya Sykes. She's not on tonight, but she helped kick that 1919 campaign off. So I know it is rolling, and I know it's going to even be bigger because, like I say, I know it was going to be talked about at the home game, but, you know, of course, it got canceled. So, again, anything that we can do, like I say, shout out to Angela Suggs, my new AD. Like I said, we got her back, and like I said, we're going to get that 1919 initiative rolling.
Hey, man, I'm glad y'all at the raffle ticket business, man.
Hey, man, listen, we ain't selling no raffle tickets around here, brother.
All right, Coach Cole, take us out, man.
Hey, man, guys, look, hey, voting is getting very serious, very, very serious. You see a lot of people are boycotting and going on. Please read. Please look at television. Please know what's going on. If you're middle class, as I say, there's 10% of America are rich. 80% is middle class, whether it's upper middle class, or lower middle class. 10% is struggling in poverty, man. You better vote for somebody on what class you're in, you know. But make sure you find out information. Don't take stuff and run with it about these candidates. Listen to the candidates, know what they're talking about, because this voting deal, guys, is very, very serious. Very, very serious. And it can definitely affect all of us. Okay? So make sure. Guys, I had a great weekend. I had a chance to commentate on the HBCU Go. Please tune in. You can go to HBCU Go, any app place, and get the app for free. It's free streaming. It's from Byron Allen. Byron Allen is an African-American guy that owns this show. He used to be a part of BET. He owns the Weather Channel. He's a billionaire, and he's decided to put his money behind African-Americans to put on HBCU Go. It's more than just football. It's about life. It's more than basketball or sports, I should say. It's about life. So everybody should go get that app. It says HBCU Go or the Griot, and get into that. Again, guys, man, life is beautiful. Things are going well for me and my family. I hope the same for you as well. And like I say, nothing can be as bad as just getting up in the morning. You can get up in the morning, you can do it one more time. But if things are hard on you, hey, remember, if you feel yourself at the end of the road, just tie a knot and hold on tight.
Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today, it's Monday, October 7th, 2024. Number 1, with another hurricane on the horizon, efforts are underway to bring some assistance, relief, sense of comfort, and normalcy to less than normal environments. A rapidly intensifying Milton was upgraded to a Category 1 hurricane Sunday afternoon and is expected to get stronger as it approaches Florida's west coast and the increasingly warm Gulf of Mexico waters. Milton is expected to make landfall almost exactly 2 weeks after Helene upended lives, especially residents of Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, and Tennessee. Number 2, a legal filing submitted by Department of Justice Special Counsel Jack Smith was opened by Judge Tanya Chutkan in the election interference case against Donald Trump. Smith argued that Trump acted after the election as a candidate, not as president of the United States, in a losing bid to hold on to the office and the power on January 6, 2021. The Smith filing goes into detail with what Donald Trump's own people said, all within Trump's inner circle, including former Vice President Mike Pence. Number 3, about 8 to 10% of African Americans, or roughly 1 to 3 million people, carry the sickle cell trait, meaning they have inherited one sickle cell gene from one parent and a normal hemoglobin gene from the other. While some carriers do not have sickle cell disease themselves, they can pass that gene on to their children. And if both parents then have the trait, there's a 25% chance their child will develop the disease. Dr. Julie Payne-Pinto emphasizes the importance of understanding the implications of the trait for family planning and health awareness in today's newsletter. Number 4, a Fulton County Superior Court judge has overturned Georgia's heartbeat law for the second time, deeming the Living Infants Fairness and Equality Act, or the LIFE Act, unconstitutional. The law, initially passed in 2019, banned abortions after detecting a fetal heartbeat at around 6 weeks and required physicians to report such cases, significantly reducing the previous 20-week allowance. Judge Robert McBurney ruled that Georgia's law violated the U.S. Constitution based on the ab initio principle, arguing an unconstitutional law cannot become valid even if constitutional conditions change later. It's Ministry Monday, and that's number 5. Webster's Dictionary defines trust as relying on the integrity or principles of another person. In contrast, trusting in God means placing complete faith in Him for everything. To trust in God means to only put your confidence in Him, for having confidence in something means having an assurance that leads to action, and God is an action word. Read more about trusting in God in today's Ministry Monday column. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. If something is not working, try something different for a better path forward. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with social justice contributor Coy Malone as we discuss the day's top headlines and more. Thank you to our What You Need to Know partners, the American Heart Association and Black Health Matters. I'm Sybil Wilkes.
My name is Danny Wilson, and I won $500 on the lunch break with AJ Jones.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.